Greetings, my name is Slight, and welcome to an over-explain on Vanessa. I did one of these where we had the Mysteries of the Deep turned on, so we're going to turn it off for this one, really do one that's specifically aimed at the free-to-play players. Now, that being said, my understanding is that these will become available for about 1,000 gems here in a couple days, is my understanding, on April 2nd, I think, which is when the new patch comes out. We should see some monetization changes. Hopefully those are actually good. And will make me want to buy the prize packs and the subscription in the future. These packs will become able to be purchased with gems here. That being said, I still do see some value. Like the concern there is like, well, if they're about to become accessible, does it really make sense to do one without them turned on? And I think it does. I think part of it gives you a sense of the power level of this. A lot of people think this is pay to win, which I really disagree with. I think that pretty much I think the monetization system has pay to win stuff that shouldn't exist. Full stop. Don't like that. Ew, nasty.jpg. But, is this pack pay to win? I don't think so. That being said, I still think it's valuable to show what you can do your first day on Bazaar if you are a mega genius. So let's jump into a game here. I got a lucky draw here and just recently got the Vanessa board, so we'll be playing with that. Do I want to change anything else? Yeah, let's fly in the sky for a little while. How about that? I don't like this little tropical chest. Never ever going to use that. Trash. Anything else I need to do? Nope. Let's jump into it. All right. And so if you watch my last over-explain, I tend to recommend for Vanessa, you start with the gold tier skill. I think that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of good reasons for that. I showed you how to take advantage of what happens when you get a burn as your starting skill. Obviously, I think when I play not for an educational purpose, I really like taking the enchanted item, but there's a lot of value in taking this is probably the second best one, and it's not much worse here than the gold tier skill. It just allows you to kind of build your board however you like. All that being said, I'm going to stick with my gold tier skill here and show off what you can do. Now, these are not the best choices, definitely the case. Keen Eye here is the most flexible. Arms Dealer is an interesting pick. I think people think this is terrible, but getting it at day one, with someone like Vanessa is actually not too bad if you can build up an economy. But that's the key thing is that, this is an economy-based skill, which means you're going to need to be churning through money. And that means you have to play a little differently. Do I want to show off that, or do I want to play standard? Let's have a little fun. Let's show off, we're going to take what would be a mediocre skill. I think both Keen Eye and Deadly Eye are a little bit better. But let's show off what you can do with Arms Dealer, kind of give you a sense of how you would play around this skill. Because if you buy this, you need to have a very specific game plan. So we need to get that, clarified right from the beginning. The tricky thing about this is that it's when you buy a weapon, so like things that you get when you sell don't really help. One thing I would like to see maybe is some tweak to this where selling a weapon is what gives it to you. But there's downsides and upsides to both ways, right? Because if you buy the weapon, you get to keep it. So it's better early. But if you sell the weapon, it's better later. Because you could generate a weapon and then sell it and get the health, right? So this is not what we want to see. I will take the catfish here because it's just good. Like just, getting 3 poison out is actually pretty strong. These other two, not really what I'm looking for right now. So, getting some weapons right now would actually be very good for me. So happy to see these. Getting a lot of health from those. And we'll move forward. And really the goal here is just to leverage our health. Interesting. Pyro, Haunted Kimono, Amenable. I would love to see a Fanged Inglet or a Cobra. But alas, none of these have any weapons. Not a single one. So what do I want? I don't think I want a lighter or a burn skill. Maybe we want a duct tape. Maybe that's the best we can get. Alright, I'm going to pause since this is boring. And he's dead. Just make sure I unpause. One of the tough things about recording is you accidentally leave your mic muted. You accidentally pause when you don't really want to. And everything is sad if you do those things. I would be willing to sell most of what I have for a better weapon. So I don't mind going to Colt. There's nothing here that's like a really valuable upgrade from B1, B2. If I didn't have Arms Dealer, I probably would take the free burn item because it's an economy-based movement. But, you know, a revolver here would be really nice. So I think clicking Colt's pretty sweet. Happy to do that. See? There we go. Now the question is, what do I sell? Sure, I'll sell this. Gives me 20 health anyway. I will take the revolver. I will sell the narwhal and take the grenade. And now I'm going into day 1, fight 1, with probably about double the health of most of the people I'd be fighting, which is really kind of the idea here with Arms Dealer. So, pretty sweet. We don't want to go to Kenai. I don't have any money. We could take a small non-weapon item, but what's just objectively better is to go to Jungle Ruins and take the small silver tier item. This could be a weapon. There is a case to be made for 2 bronze tier loot items because on average that's, you know, somewhere like 2 to 3 gold, you know, depending on whether you get pelts or not. And remember, this is an economy based skill. I gotta sneeze 1 sec. Spring is starting. And apparently in your 30s you just develop allergies, at least to some degree. There's also a case to be made for regen. This 3 regen is really on the verge of being better than like these other 2 picks. It's very good, especially for your first fight. But I feel like I'm in a good spot with what I have. You know, this poison is really good day 1 as long as you can last in the fight. But it's hard to pass this. That's trash. Well, what can you do? Sometimes you get trash. Oh, now I will say, if I did not have a friend, it would have actually been a good idea to keep that because the Furry Friend event will give you experience if you have food or a friend. Now, I have a friend, but if I didn't have this friend, then it would be really valuable for me to keep that food around. The 20 health really doesn't matter, but the food tag actually matters quite a bit. So this guy's just doing haste core stuff. No, he's got 3 regen. As long as I can beat out 3 regen with my 2 weapons here, 2 items, and I will because of Catfish, there's pretty much no way this guy can beat me. I have so much health compared to him. And here, like, the biggest thing on our side is just time and this poison. So even though this doesn't fit with what I'm doing, it's enough to kind of counteract what he's doing. You know, as you can see, it actually ended up being closer than I expected. But I think we'll be able to pull him out. No crits, though, is part of the reason it's been so close. If I had had maybe 1 crit or 2 crits, Revolver would have more ammo and it wouldn't be as close. That being said, you know, that was a relatively easy fight that we barely won. So I don't feel like I was particularly strong that day. Realistically, I was only going to beat people who I could just basically time out, right? Now, I don't want 1 regen. I could go to Quixel, but I really don't have a lot of money. I think the best thing to do here is go Strange Mushroom, and you can either take the neutral item, which could be a variable amount of gold, or just free 4 gold. And because I know that economy is important for me, I'm going to take the 4 gold. That's how I'm going to kind of take advantage of what I'm doing here. Very happy to see right-handed. Left Eye and Burning Spark, you know, I can see some value in these, but realistically, this is just great. This is exactly what I'm looking for. You know, throw your revolver over there. You're in a good spot all of a sudden. And because we have this friend, we can go to Tiny Furry Monster, and we can get that experience upgrade. So, right now, I'm at level 2 with no experience. Once I take this, I'll have 2 experience. If I can beat a 3 experience monster, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll have 2 more of these open circles, which means I'll have 2 more experience, which means I'll level up to level 3. But that requires that I am able to beat the level 3 monster. And I don't know if I actually can right now. That's kind of the tricky bit. We'll click this. It's still kind of the best move to take the experience. But Rogue Scrapper's a tricky guy to beat right now. The chance of me beating him seems like I would need to get quite a few crits. So I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, alright, so this is how we need to determine whether or not we can kill the Rogue Scrapper. Alright, the main thing here is the Rogue Scrapper has a set amount of DPS. Alright, it has 60 damage. Alright, 60 divided by 11. Alright, so that's its damage per second. Plus, assuming it's not at full health, its heal is essentially damage per second, right? It's essentially the same thing. So 60 divided by 8. And then we know that it's going to gain shield twice from the Gearnola bar. And it has a silver barbed wire. So it's going to go from 10 to 20 to 30 damage. All right? So that's 30 damage divided by 5. All right? So it's about 18 or 19. You know, this barbed wire starts at 10 damage and kind of scales up over the course of the fight. So probably closer to 18 damage per second, something like that. That is pretty much set. All right. And that's something that you can kind of take to the bank. I would say probably a good estimation is 18.5. So now the real question is, how much damage do we do? And I'll tell you right now, I don't think it's that. So we've got a revolver. Which is 28 divided by 4 plus a grappling hook, which is just terrible DPS. Look at that. 12 divided by 7. I mean, that is that's less than 1, right? Isn't it? No, it's not less than 1. It's less than 2. And then we've got, you know, maybe 50, maybe 100 just flat damage from grenade. And then we've got Catfish. So Catfish... also, whenever he heals, he removes some poison, so you can't even really fully count your poison here. But this is gonna trigger, you know, probably 6 times during a fight, and each time it increases the DPS that it's gonna do. So that is 6 triggers times 3, which is the total maximum DPS it'll do. Divided by 2, which is its average DPS. Yep, I think that's right. And so we've got about 17. Now that does not include any crits or this grenade here. So it's a really, really close fight. The tricky bit here is that we also know that he tends to heal pretty much right at the last second if you don't do quite enough damage to him. So it's also a timing issue with the Rogue Scrapper. So this is a pretty risky fight. We could win. We are relying on, you know, some good slows. If we can get a crit on our grenade, that'll be a big deal. If we can get some crits on our revolver. But, you know, you're kind of just hoping that that's going to be the case. And in general, losing one of these fights is terrible. So I think the best move here would be to not fight this. But I am somewhat interested in showing off whether or not that calculation is correct. That being said, I think because I'm doing an educational video and I'm not just trying to, you know, experience, you know, everything that the Bazaar has to offer, I will dodge the fight. I think it's a little too risky, and losing experience right now would be really, really terrible. So I think we're happy to go to Warrior. I think we have a better chance of surviving the Warrior fight just by utilizing our high health. You know, that being said, Warrior isn't the easiest fight, but the biggest thing about Warrior, he's got low health, and we have high health. So we didn't get that grenade crit, which means that we definitely would not have got that grenade crit had we fought the Rogue Scrapper. Oh, but we did get 2 crits on Revolver, which is pretty good. Nice. And I think he did do more damage than us. Actually, no, he didn't. We did very, very similar DPS in that fight. But instead of taking the risk and losing, it is going to be way better for me to just take the guaranteed win, even if it means I don't make it to level 3. There's still a chance here I get some experience offered, so we're not down and out. We could take a slow item. We could go back for another silver item, but I have this money, and I want to be leveraging my arms dealer, so I want to buy some items. And these are pretty good ones to buy. I'll go ahead and put this damage on this revolver here. Happy to take pretty much all of these, including, I think, the life preserver. Just another way that we leverage our high health pool. And with the amount of money I have, I'm happy to refresh as well. Now that is interesting. Arbalest is a good item. And this is very early to get an Arbalest. I am very interested in that. I don't care about this or this. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. This is like only fine. I don't have any haste right now, obviously, but you know, it's something to move toward. You know, there's a case to be made for Trebuchet here, right? But the big thing is that Arbalest can be a build in itself. Honestly, both of these together are pretty strong if I had a little bit more money. But basically, the max money I have is 4 plus 4 is 8, 9, 10, 12, 12. Which isn't even enough to buy both of them. But I do think it's worth getting rid of all this. And getting the Arbalest. Because this is just something that I can build toward. And it gives me more health. Perfect. And look at this. Not the gunfire gods. The Bazaar gods have shined down upon us, and they made up for our 1 missing experience here. So I need 2 experience. I'm going to gain 1 from this open circle here, and then I'll gain 1 more from the study. And because I have no money, there's a case to be made to going to Finn's Big Bite if this wasn't here. But with this here, it's definitely the choice. Bronze ammo. So, getting these item rewards counts as buying an item, even though you didn't pay for it. And ammo items are much more likely to be weapons. So we will click load up, because that's not only going to give us, on average, give us 40 max health, but an item that we can use. And, you know, honestly, Harpoon early isn't bad, especially considering how thick we are. We will probably be in an okay spot by the time we get that Harpoon off, even though it's pretty slow. So I'd love to see this Arc Blaster or First Aid or Induction Aegis get killed. Those would all be great things to die. We're doing a pretty good job staying ahead of the curve on... oh, nice. We got the Induction Aegis. That was probably the best thing we could get. I don't know if it'll be enough, but, you know, at least we put up a good effort. You can only do so much, right? And he's just got some decent stuff going on, especially with the Turbo Arc Blaster. Right now, we really don't have a build. The only thing we've done is sort of like give ourselves a lot of max health. But we do have the ability to get toward a build by the next day. This Arbalest can be an insane tool and can do a lot of damage. Even with like 3 or 4 haste triggers, you know, that's really all you need. So we could take Sharpening Stone as a way to gain a little bit of money, but medium items here is really kind of great for us. There's a lot of medium items that have haste. So none of these have haste. That's kind of what we're looking for. None of these are better than what we have on our board. So happy to refresh here. And we did end up getting a beach ball, and we can actually throw this beach ball on our board just sort of for Arbalest, and it's not too bad. It's obviously not amazing, but it is better than it looks. It is at least something to get this Arbalest going up, so I will do that. There's a case to be made to remove catfish from the board right now, which I am thinking about. The tough thing is I can't really get to... I just don't think it's worth selling these things just to buy a katana. I don't think it's worth it. I don't see the value. All right, perfect. So we get a non-weapon item, lost crate, or small items. If we did not have a better option, taking the free money is kind of the way to go, because we need to give ourselves money for arms dealer, and we have not found any successful way to build up our economy thus far. But lost crate's really great for us. Kind of what we're looking for. We get a silver upgrade hammer, and we are able to upgrade this beach ball, which will significantly increase the effectiveness of catfish and the Arbalest. We do have damage. The biggest consideration when you're thinking about which of these to go through, generally, Vanessa doesn't really like to go to Frost Street Challenger. It's pretty rare that I've wanted to do that. You know, that being said, I will say Frost Street Challenger does have Snowstorm. When you freeze, your weapons gain damage for the fight. The problem with this is there's like a neutral version of this same skill that's just way better. It's like not even close. So I don't know why the Frost Street Challengers one is so bad. We have enough damage to keep the shield from increasing on Eccentric Etherite. That is the big consideration for whether or not we would go to Eccentric Etherite. And sure, getting a Cutlass here is fine, but I think we want to go here. The potential payoff is extremely high, and I think we do enough damage to knock off that shield, and then we can probably finish out the fight with poison, would be my guess. Nice. Look at that. 300 damage. That's a lot better, and we can do a lot better than this if we can find like a way to get this like one more ammo or something like that. And getting rigged here would be literally nuts for us. But yeah, see that? If we can get a second shot on this, we're in a really good spot with what we've currently got. And so that'll be our sort of temporary goal. That's fine. Can't win them all. Interesting. So we don't have anything for this scrap to go on currently. But it is a fair amount of money. I don't really need another aquatic item because this is kind of a good enough engine. Like, you know, the catfish gets the haste, which gains poison. And really, when you have beach ball, you only want to have as many items as you're going to haste, because then it will guaranteed haste itself and sort of maintain that sort of critical loop. Sorry for hitting my mic. Critical loop of hasting itself and whatever else you need. So I think fins is pretty good, but I'm gonna take this only because of its economy implications. All right, that's 2 gold in my pocket, and if I can find a good shield item, you know, that will actually matter quite a bit. We're gonna go ahead and upgrade a bronze tier item. Happy to upgrade the catfish here. Why? Because this is kind of the package we have on the left side of the board. This is just the trash that we got at the start of the game. This is kind of what we're actually doing, right? And so it's good to keep that in mind. All right, next up is we could take a relax. We could increase our damage. Or our poison. Or we can go to Kina for non-weapon items. Yeah. This is not the pick. We don't have anything that's really worth adding damage to. The Arbalest doesn't care. Like 10 damage on this is nothing. This only cares about haste triggers, and I don't care about 10 damage on this revolver. I'm eventually going to get rid of it. It is sad to see Kina. I'd really like to see something else, especially something that we could use our arms dealer on. You know, an Ayla right now would be so much better. There is a case to be made for relax here, but I think we got to go Kina, because if we can get something that helps us with our ammo here, we're going to be in a great spot. So let's do that. Alright, happy to take an ambergris. You know, this is just a decent item. As you trickle in your aquatic items, even right now, taking this harpoon, you know, I would get a $1 discount on this harpoon, which is not bad. The only thing I don't like about taking harpoon is it's aquatic, so it would mess up my beach ball. So instead of taking either of these, which I don't think is too good, I'm going to reroll. Really dig in for something more useful. Fishing rod isn't bad. It's a haste trigger, right? But it messes up our current loop and doesn't add enough. That being said, figurehead here is pretty interesting. And I could make it happen by just selling both of my scrap. So I think that's probably worth doing. We'll go ahead and sell both of our scraps. And hand axe. Is it hand axe? We'll do grenade. And then we'll take figurehead here. And then just move these around like this. This gives a cooldown reduction here. Gives us some extra damage. It's a pretty decent item. You know, there's a reason this is where it is on my tier list. One sec. Right, so this is the current tier list I'm working on. I've made all these changes to it, which I will post after the next patch. Just so that the new patch doesn't, like, change a bunch of stuff and then I have to, like, release it again. Yeah, figurehead is quite high, usually good. It just fits in a lot of different builds. It's good with aquatic. You know, you can have a full aquatic board and it's good, and to get nothing out of the weapons. You can have a full weapon board and it's good. You could even, sometimes in one weapon builds, you know, you just need an extra 50 damage and that makes all the difference. So here, showing off, you know, kind of its effectiveness. We will not throw ambergris on the board because it'll mess up our aquatic synergy here, and we're good to move forward. Now, this is going to trigger in 9 seconds. We were unable to get another we were unable to get the second shot on this. Getting a second shot on the Arbalest was critical for this fight, so my expectations for winning are quite low. That being said, at 4.5 seconds, this is going to trigger, which will do 2 haste triggers. And then, 2.25 seconds from there, oh, actually, it's not 2.25, is it? It is 2.5 seconds from there. These will trigger again. So at 7 seconds, we will have triggered 4 times, four haste triggers, and we are very close to getting to 6 if we can get the cooldown to 4 seconds. Then we will be able to get 6 haste triggers on the same moment that Arbalest fires. So, yeah. We're close to getting a little bit more value out of this process, but we're not quite there. That being said, hopefully the little bit of extra damage we've added to our board, as well as the catfish upgrade, will help. Luckily, this guy seems like he really doesn't have a whole lot going on. This does not seem like the best build. I mean, he did get a crit, but I'm not sure that's quite enough. Yeah, Arbalest doing a lot right there. Hopefully we can just finish this off with some poison. I think we can. Close fight, but we got it. Happy to fight someone who's not got a strong build going. And this last day, we really weren't able to take too much advantage of Arms Dealer, unfortunately, but I am hoping that that will change. Small non-weapon item. So we have kind of an interesting option. We really don't have the money to go to Sylvia right now, but Mountain Pass is great for us, and we actually have some pretty legitimate options here. You know, I'm going to look at my experience. I'm guaranteed 1, 2, 3, 4 more experience, right? So as long as I beat a monster that is at least 2, then I'm already good to level up to level 5 before the end of day 5. I know I need economy, and it's pretty late though to take 2 income for $1. So I could take $5 now, or the 2 gold and 1 experience, but I think on average the best thing for me to do is just escort the convoy, and we'll just have to see what happens. I think this is a character we can beat. It's going to be close though. This is not an easy fight for us, mostly because we're getting a lot of our effectiveness off of poison after we get our Arbalest shot, and he heals quite a bit. And so that healing is going to take a lot of our poison away. So yeah, like we're only at 1 poison right now. But, you know, we'll see what we can do. Luckily, he doesn't have a huge amount of health, so maybe we'll be able to to finish this out. Luckily, most of his scaling is just his damage and not like his healing. So if I can get a crit here, that would be awesome. Oh, it looks like we got him. Don't need a crit. I think I was a little overly concerned about that fight. Sure, I'll take a med kit. That's $4. All right, so that's there. Lost Crate, 4 Regen, or JJ. Again, I would really be interested in something else. I don't think an upgrade or a skill is going to be really impactful for me. The main thing that I want is another shot on this Arbalest, so we're going to go to JJ. Interesting. Beach Ball is good. It is really good, because it means that I can add another aquatic item into my mix here, and that really increases Arbalest's effectiveness. So I think I'm happy to go here. That was a weird interaction there. So now I can just add this onto my board, and while it's not doing much, it's just another thing that gains haste. And I'll consider... Actually, I think I should. I'll sell this, because I do want to refresh here and see if I can't find, you know, like something to help with my ammo. It's that important. I was unable to find anything, but there is this seashell, which is probably better than this ambergris. Although, and there's piranha here, which is actually not bad either. So I would need to sell both of these to get it. I think that's probably worth it. And I will take the piranha and put that there. And now this will haste all 3 of these things, which is even better. And piranha will stay on the board and kind of help the catfish kind of finish off the fight. Yeah, I definitely think that was worth it. We keep ambergris off the board because Beach Ball really needs to haste itself for it to be that critical effectiveness. And by taking the piranha, we do get that value out of Arms Dealer, which is exactly what we want. Flame Juggler is a little too strong for us. I don't think we can do him. But Blood Reef Raider we could do. Boiler Room Brawler we could do. And I really do like Boiler Room Brawler instead of Blood Reef Raider. In the cases where you don't really care to get the Crow's Nest, and I don't really care to get the Crow's Nest, but anything that can give me haste is good, and Boiler Room Brawler has one of the best haste items in the game in the Energy Potion. Multi-Tool would also be good. I would be happy to take that, as well as an Eagle Talisman, and even this Flashy Mechanic would be alright. And nice, Arbalest is doing pretty good. Alright, unfortunate. We didn't get what we were hoping for, but at least that can go on my board without adding any complexity. Just making sure it's not aquatic, and I forgot. It wouldn't make sense, but you just never know. See, this is exactly what I was talking about. Remember that skill that was like when you freeze, your weapons gain 2 damage? Well, here's one, you know, that gives you 10 damage. So, what are we up to? In general, my advice on Argenta here is to not reroll unless it's really trash. And because we can get some value out of Final Dose here, I'm in. You know, I think that it is often a mistake to try to reroll on her unless you absolutely have to. Now, we have some interesting thoughts here. The big thing about Orion is that, again, he can help solve our ammo problem better than most things that we could go to. The other option is you can go to the docks and take the tool option as the docks option. That would be another way to go, but I would be willing to sell, you know, the goggles and the ambergris for the right, which would get me up to 8, which is kind of enough for me to buy even a silver ammo solution, silver medium ammo solution. So I'm going to go to Orion. We did not get what we hoped. Interesting. And do I want dock lines? Do I want dock lines? I can't refresh. So instead of dock line, instead I would have kind of this situation going on, right? I would need to sell ambergris. Sure, let's do it. I do think that's better. And I think that keeps us pretty nice and flexible. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Docklines is really good. All right, we have no money. And as much as I would love a variety of things, I think the best thing for us to do is just take money here. You know, this guy, you know, he could have a bronze powder horn, which would be incredible. But there's no guarantee of that, so I'm just going to take the money. And we do not want to put this on our board because it will mess up the beach ball Hastings synergy. So let's see if we've got enough. We are relying on poison to finish up the fight, but we do a big chunk of damage, and we're probably about 300, yeah, around 300 plus health ahead because of Arms Dealer, and hopefully that'll be enough. We've got a fiery arc blaster here, but you know, this is looking pretty nice and clean. We'll get one more trigger. Will be quite a lot of damage there. We're slowing him down quite a lot, and it looks like our build is going to take him out. Nice, you love to see that. Quick ignition, wow. He's got some good stuff already. What could I get that's an upgrade that matters? See, I can't afford an upgrade to this. I don't care for an upgrade for this, and I don't care for an upgrade for this. So none of that really matters to me, but Ayla's great. Interesting torpedo here. Another position where I'm really hurting for ammo more than anything else. One thing I didn't consider before coming here is how this would impact my board. Like, I'd love a small weapon here, but I don't want Piranha because it's going to mess up my Aquatic synergy. Is it worth rerolling? I don't know, but I will. Hey, this is pretty nice. Yeah, would love to take Blowgun here. That's actually really great for me. That's very strong. Very happy with that. I could have taken Concealed Dagger as well. And in fact, as I think about it more, it might have been even better. Just as another way to build our economy. Every fight getting 2 gold or 4 gold extra. If you didn't know, when you crit with a Concealed Dagger, it gives you extra gold. You may not know that. Now you do. I don't want to go to Quixel. Too low on money. I don't want 500 shield. So we're going to go here. And because we are really just looking for something to solve our ammo problem, we're going to take a tool. Not that one, but what can you do? None of these have items that would affect our ability to reload the Arbalest. And I think we can easily beat all of them, so we'll just take the highest one. I would be happy with Initial Dose, or Paralytic Potion, or Petrifying Gaze. I would also take Trained Spider, the Vial of Blood, and the Toxic Clockwork Blades, all of which would be great. So a lot of good options here. This adding 53 poison has been working out. And we're doing a good job slowing kind of everything they have. But again, one more shot on this Arbalest is going to literally crank us up so much as far as the power level of our build. So very excited for when and if we can get that going. So I think in general, a lot of players tend to take the silver loot, but I want to call out in the cases where part of your synergy is around economy, that at this point in the game, getting like a silver medium item is worth 4, and a silver large item's worth 6, and may actually pay out more than the silver loot. The tough thing here is that on average this is 4, right? So it's already pretty good. So the real reason that you would take these over this is not so much that, hey, I roll a large item, but what else am I getting out of getting an item over a loot item? And that could be, for us, getting a trigger on Arms Dealer would probably be the one, or taking something that could upgrade an item that you have. These are all good reasons to do maybe not the silver loot. That being said, it's pretty mid here. I think I might try for the ammo item just because it's highly likely to be a weapon and it could be the Arbalest. It is not, but we were able to get some something out of that from Arms Dealer. 40 health is, nothing to scoff at. So I know I'm going to get 2 more experience here. This would increase it to 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. That's not enough to level up. So as much as I'd love to take study, Keen is also very interesting because it could have an ammo solution for us, which would be very strong. And I would rather have an ammo solution than blowgun. Blowgun's just good now. But it's very hard to pass up Pearl's dig site. This is a very good way to get money. And I might just get something like an ammo solution. Also, Pearl's dig site tends to have a lot of enchanted items. So I pretty much never pass this up when I see it. Almost never. None of these are what I'm looking for. None of these are what I'm looking for. Interesting. Radiant throwing knives is not terrible, but not what I'm looking for. And I think I will reroll only one more time, and then I'll just kind of take whatever I can get. Huh. Sure, we can take multi-tool. Perfect. So I do like that better than I like blowgun, at least for now. This is just, a way to actually get more haste triggers and slow triggers, which is kind of in line with what we're doing. We've got $1. $5 is fine. But the best thing for us to do here is fight a monster. And we got a very good one. Wow, this is great. This has a lot of ways that we can address our ammo problem. For one, it has flashy reload. We've got gunpowder. We've got rocket boots, which is really good with what we're currently doing with our kind of haste effects. Oh, interesting. So one thing I do not like here about multi-tool is that it actually hasted Arbalest a little too early and caused Arbalest to kind of go up faster than I wanted it to. So that'll be something that I should watch. But I'd be perfectly happy with rocket boots, flashy reload, or gunpowder here. That's none of those, but you know what? At least it's 40 health and some money. So I'm actually going to take this back off because I don't want it to hit this. Kind of borked our shot right there. And even if I had taken that 1 experience, I would be 1 experience short right now. So, even if you could make the case that, oh, well, you should just always take experience because in this case you could have leveled up. I still wouldn't have leveled up. So let's go into the fight and see how we do. I think we've still got a good edge, especially just because we have a lot of health, which gives us that time. We're still about 400 health up on average. But this guy certainly has quite a lot of burn coming our way here pretty soon. So we'll see how this works out. Can we tick him out? We're close. It's real close. We got him. Oh, no, I forgot. He has Life Preserver. Okay. He deserved the win there. Yep. The fact that he had slow. If he didn't have any slow on his board, I don't think he would have won. All right. We're back into the thick of things. I am saving these items in my stash because if I find Midsworth or Quixel, I can go to them and get extra value out of them, and there's no reason to sell them now. If I come to a position where I need to sell them, then we'll sell them then. Eating Contest doesn't really do anything for us. Medkit doesn't do anything for us, so we go to Mittel. We have a lot of medium items here, so it's a good reason to go here anyway. Nothing here is what we're looking for. You could make the case that is it time to switch to pufferfish? Should I take out dock lines? I don't think so. I may be wrong about that, but I don't think that switching over to pufferfish right now is better than what we're doing. Am I wrong about that, though? I'm getting good haste triggers. I've got the figurehead. This leans even further into, getting haste triggers and stuff. And I could always throw a jellyfish here. And then the pufferfish could be the main way that I do the... actually apply the poison as opposed to catfish. It's very interesting to think about. We're going to try it. And with this being at 9 seconds, you know, this cooldown actually matters quite a bit. So, alright. I'm going to not sell the dock lines, though. I wanted to go through at least one fight just to feel what that change looks like. None of these are what we're looking for. And, you know, one thing I want to call out here, real quick, is just the fact that I am not getting what I need for my build to come together, and I'm not getting frustrated. And I think a lot of players would look at this run and be like, well, this is just bad RNG, you know? But, like, I'm putting up a very good fight. You know, if that last player, who had a good build, did not have Life Preserver, I would have won, you know? Assuming that, you know, they didn't have something that would have made up the difference. But, you know, like, I pretty much killed that person the first time. And that's with getting what I would call, you know, bad RNG. But that's just part of the game, right? That's going to happen. And our job is just to stay focused and make sure that we are moving in the right direction towards solving that bad RNG. That being said, here, I'm still interested in this Arbalest. And I love Arbalest because it actually upgrades really nicely. If I remember correctly, yeah. So this goes to 80, which is a 33% increase on the effectiveness of its like triggers there, which is really strong. So I'm doing decent on money. And we could go look at Ayla for weapons, the docks, or get spare change. Here, I think there's really only one option, and that's just to roll for a tool to see if I can get something that solves my ammo problems. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but, you know, we've got all this stuff to sell, and hopefully we'll see a mid's worth here pretty soon. Trash Golem would be pretty nice. Trash Golem has an ammo skill. I don't think I can beat Infernal. I'm a little too slow. Dire Mosquito's not bad either. I kind of forget what he has. Let me look up Dire Mosquito. When you slow, haste a weapon. Oh, wow, that's actually pretty good. And the insect wings are pretty good, too. And then I could put dock lines back in. And that's just more haste triggers. So is the ammo solution more interesting to me than the cooldown? Because I get cooldown, or maybe I can get the haste trigger thing. Interesting. I don't think Trash Golem has anything besides its... yeah, Jury Rigger is the only thing it has for ammo. It's got Grape Shot, which is bad, actually. I think on average we get a better outcome from Dire Mosquito, so let's go there. And really, because I could just take any of these insect wings, and that would be good. But if I can get Paralyzing Rush, that would be very strong. Alright, not bad. Let's see what we get. Fine enough with me. So, if we take this off, this is 10 seconds. 6% is 0.6. 0.6 would get this to 9.4 minus 10% would be 0.94. So this would go to 8.6. Which is under 8.8, which is ideal. The question is, do I want Pufferfish to take the insect wing, or do I want Arbalest? And my thoughts here are simple. Or do I want to put it on Beach Ball? Because then Beach Ball will self-cycle, right? And we want to put it on Beach Ball. The reason is because Pufferfish, I'm not fully committed to. I can switch to dock lines at a given moment. But Beach Ball here is doing work. It's probably going to stay on our board. It's our main way that we're getting haste triggers currently. And it's our engine for our Arbalest here. So by reducing this to 4.7 and then 4.2, now when it hastes itself 2 seconds, it only has 0.2 seconds where it's unhasted, which is ideal. And if I can get that down to 4 seconds, we'll be looking really good. All right, we can get Regen, Aerodrome, or Kina. I do love Aerodrome, but Kina could have She's more likely to have than most things to have an ammo solution for us. So let's go to Kina. Cove, you'll notice, is highly positioned as situationally OP. The main reason this is situationally OP is when you can get a bronze one. When you can get a bronze one of these things, and maybe even a silver one, you know, if your economy's doing well enough, it's like so important for Vanessa's economy, which is why ambergris is also pretty highly rated as well, right? Because these are kind of the few, and star chart, right? Because you can go to the dock event. So I could take Astrolabe here, which is at the highest point of nothing better. And the reason to do that would be, well, if I go to see a dock event, then I can take the 5 gold 1 experience. But I would only have one more option today and all of day 7. And then once day 8 begins, you cannot see the dock event again. So Astrolabe is not a good purchase. None of these are what I want. Clamora is not good enough. Maybe if it was gold, I would consider the Clamora. There's something to be considered here for holsters. It's a strong item with Arbalest because it just, you know, supercharges stuff. But I don't think it's what we need. So we'll pass. We'll keep our money. And we get another opportunity from Andy. Andy, is this the time? Now, I do have a decent amount of money here. So do I actually want to juice my health? I don't think I mind taking some health there. You know, I can sell it right back, and we finally get an ammo solution. So we'll take this out, put this here, and now we have infinite ammo on that, and we have a build. We have officially reached a build. Now, things that I really love to upgrade are figurehead and beach ball. If we can upgrade beach ball, well, now we can increase like what we can have one more aquatic item on the board. But figurehead here would be a very strong thing to increase because that would get our beach ball down to under 4 seconds. I think we've got a good shot at winning this fight. We're going to scale up very high. Looks like this guy is doing a... oh, good. Only 1 matchbox. But he does have rush that he can't use. So let's see how we do. He's got some slow, which is kind of messing up our stuff here. But we have... Ooh, I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. We're scaling, but his slow is actually messing us up quite a lot. He's hitting some really good targets for slow. We don't have any crit here, so as much as we're going to put up a good fight, he's got a lot of healing, and I think it's enough with the slow here for him to beat us there. Yeah, so Turbo Marbles pretty much won him that fight. Well played. And the reason that is because our build is not very resistant to slow currently. It's, you know, slowing down this beach ball really impacts our ability to cycle through what we're doing. And he had a lot of slow triggers there. So a lot of what we're looking for is medium items. So I'm happy to go to medium items. Aerodrome is really good. If it wasn't medium items, then I would be going to Aerodrome. Interesting. So the question is Rowboat better than Figurehead on Beach Ball? And that is an interesting question. I think we'll dodge for now. Star Chart's pretty good. I could have Star Chart on Beach Ball and Arbalest here and get 15% crit. And then this would be under 4 seconds. But really, I think... Oh, jeez. Yeah, I mean, Figurehead, sure, hits everything here. Very tricky. Not an easy choice. I don't want to get locked into this belief that I have to keep Figurehead on my board. You know, there's other ways to move forward here. So a 1 second cooldown reduction every 4.5 seconds is essentially around a 20% reduction in this thing's cooldown. And because Beach Ball would happen before Rowboat would happen. Oh, actually, would it? No, it would not. So it won't work because this will be at 4.5 seconds. This will be at 4.7 seconds. So when this charges at 1 second, it will just charge it the last 0.2 seconds. So in its current position, that won't work. Star chart is better, though. An immediate payoff. And I would just reorganize like this. And then star chart would go here. Which would reduce this by 15, getting it under 4. It still doesn't make it resistant enough. And it weakens our catfish pufferfish. I'm going to skip. Tough choice. Wow, we got rewarded for that. You'll love that. Okay, so with us being at 3.8, we're now a little bit more resistant to that slow. But we want to do better than that. And hopefully we can. Our next kind of threshold for pufferfish is 6.6 seconds. And actually, I think it's technically 6. No, it's not. Because if it's permanently hasted... 1 second, let me think. So the reason I'm thinking... I paused and then immediately unpaused. Is because if this is at... So currently, this charges every 2 seconds. Let's just start over. Let's do an over-explain. Currently, this charges every 2 seconds when you haste. But there's an internal cooldown of 0.2 seconds between each time that it gets charged. So, the reason 8.8 is important is because with 8 haste triggers and 0.2 seconds between each haste trigger, you will it will chain evenly with 8 hastes will trigger it 4 times. 4 hastes will trigger it 4 times. That's what you're looking for at 8.8 seconds. But how does that change if it's hasted? Because when it's hasted in that 0.2 seconds, it actually effectively moves 0.4 seconds, right? Of time, because it's moving at double speed. So the way to think about it is, if you have haste on an item, it's no longer, your charge amount plus 0.2 seconds per charge activation. It's charge amount plus 0.4 seconds per activation. So for 6 activations, that's 6 seconds for the charges, and then 0.4 times 3 is 1.2. So 7.2, assuming there's no slow shenanigans, would be the next threshold, assuming the pufferfish is permanently hasted by the beach ball. Cool. That was exciting. I don't want the rest of this stuff. Interesting. An ammo skill. I kind of love that. 1 ammo on here is kind of all we need, and then I can get this off my board. Yeah. Yep. Now we can get that off my board, and I could even put this on my board, I think. Yeah, right? Or is blowgun better? I don't think it is. Oh, actually blowgun's better because it's even more damage now with figurehead upgraded. Okay, yeah. I feel good about that. Nice. That was big. Okay, we don't care about the docks anymore. We know we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more experience, and I'm pretty sure because once we click this, we're going to gain another experience. So I think we actually have 5 experience. So do I need this to level up? That's my question. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would put me here. And then if I can beat the level 3 monster, that's 3 more. And I'm going to gain 1 from today, which I haven't gained yet. So I don't think I need this. If I go to Kina, I could get an upgrade for any of these, which would be strong, but not necessarily important, which is a key distinction. I think my goal should be to try to get as much experience as possible, because by the end of day 8, I want to be level 10. Oh, and actually, I did need that experience to level up. So, yeah, Sticking to the open circles is the way to go. And Ghost Pepper is just, I'm going to call it out, one of the hardest fights in the game. Don't fight this guy until it's changed. Sergeant Suds doesn't give us anything we care about. Chili Charles is a pushover. Let's go kill him. Hey, that's fine, I guess. There's worse things you could do. Alright, and now I'm watching this to kind of see how effective our beach ball is. Still, a little disruption is really messing it up. I'd really like an extra second of haste on this. But we're about to do some mondo damage. And we are doing pretty good on stacking up the poison to kind of finish off the fights. Hey, stop. I wanted to kill him with Arbalest. It's 2,000 damage. Mean. That does not help us at all. But maybe if we get some freeze. We currently have no crit, so, you know, not bad. We're low on money. Temporary boost is not great for us here. Sure, it gives us more health, but I don't see that being super valuable. Really, I think I'd like to just have some money sitting around, because what's going to be important for us now is skills. So I'm going to just take a free item. That's perfect. That's literally the exact thing I want to see, is some kind of gold item. Haste, slow, and cooldown items. Interesting. That really covers beach ball, catfish, figurehead, and arbalest. All can be in Tox Clocks. But the mountain pass is really good. This is what's going to help us get to level 10. So I'm going to level up to level 9 here before day 7. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if I can beat the level 3, that's another level up. So I'm good to get to level 10 by the next fight. So I don't need the mountain pass. I think we'll go to Tox Clocks and see if we can't get some good stuff. Okay, you're gone. You're gone. This is awesome. This is less important. Really, here, the only thing we're getting out of this is, I think, oh, it's the cooldown reduction. That's what they did to pufferfish. But I don't want to sell... Like, how much do I care about this blowgun? And how much do I care about going to 7 seconds? That would get us under that threshold, but right now we're not even hasting enough for permanent haste for that to be a real consideration. I don't care. I don't care about that. Nice. We got an upgraded Arbalest. I feel pretty happy about that. And we got silver tier ammo, silver tier item, or silver tier loot. Silver tier loot. I'm going to take the ammo because that might be a weapon, which will give us more health. And really, I'm just trying to get stuff that I can sell so I can keep my economy high. Sure, torpedo. Thanks for the 40 health. Don't care about this. Don't care about this. Barely care about that. So we'll sort them like that. Alright, let's shoot this pig in the face. Again, we are still weak to disruption. But if they don't mess with our board very much, we're scary. We've got marbles. So we've just got marbles and rust. Luckily, the slow did not hit our beach ball. Oh, he did get a first hit there on beach ball, which is exactly what he wants. Oh, beach ball again with his marbles. That is a huge deal as far as the effectiveness of what he's doing. Ooh, yeah, I think he got us again. Hitting beach ball there was pretty strong, but obviously he killed us before our second shot. We're very weak to disruption, so let's see if we can't pull this back. You know, in general, a free diamond item is a joke as far as what you're looking for. This one's pretty good sometimes, you know, especially if it means like you would level up to level 10 early, and the 20 gold is good, but in general, getting a random enchantment's just so much better. So much better. Slow is not bad. So you could do slow on figurehead, if I'm not mistaken, and it's pretty good. Figurehead. Oop, I'm in monsters. When you use an adjacent item, slow for one item for 3 seconds. You know, you can really make that work with figurehead. That's pretty good. But I really think we want to get something on Arbalest here, and just, you know, continue down this path that we've built for ourselves. because there's a lot of good enchantments we could get on this. That's not one of them. That's unfortunate. But, you know, this will make it so it's more likely that we hit that second attack. All right. Chocolate bars, money, or Barkun. Barkun's great because we could sell some of our stuff, which we are interested in. Goodbye. Goodbye. And we'll hold on to this torpedo because it's better to sell to someone else. And I don't think I want any of this. This is pretty weak. You know, this is not bad. My question is, we need 5 or more unique types. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I think I want this out and this out. I don't care about the extra damage from figurehead. What I do care about we'll sell this just in case I want to put this back on the board. Is this. Oh, it's still just not perfect as far as the way that this timing's working out. But I think this looks pretty good. We'll just shift this like this so that this charges this when it happens. And now this will be our main poison. I think I feel pretty good about that. You know, also, I will say, 6-second harpoon here. If I had the money, I probably would have gone for this over this. Because I would have been able to destroy 2 small items very quickly at the start of the fight. This harpoon is the reason that harpoon's in situationally OP. Because when it's at diamond, it is strong. Perfect time to see a Pearl's Dig Site. Because at this point in the game, we're very likely to see some high rarity items, which will improve my economy. Belt's not bad, but I don't have room for it on my board. There's a case to be made for just taking the free 8 gold, but I think I'll roll one more time at least. Oh, interesting. And last time, best time. Sure, happy to take that. If we get some slow effects, that will end up mattering quite a bit. All right. Ooh, Car Conductor actually turns out to be really good. Car Conductor has some really strong... Car Conductor. Conductor. So your shield vehicle gains 30 shield. Your weapon vehicles gain 30% damage. But if you have a vehicle, reduce your non-vehicle items cooldown by 15%. That's pretty awesome. So if we could get that, that would be really strong. So the rowboat's helping us be a little bit more resistant to slow. Still feel like we're a little weak. I don't feel great about what we're up to. We didn't get what we wanted, but you know, you gotta try. Gumballs is fine, but nothing to be excited about. And I don't have the money to really field it. So I think I'm just gonna take the free change. Enchanted items. How much money do I have? 4, 10, 15. Very unlikely to be able to buy whatever Seraphina has without selling something. Which is very risky. I think it's actually better for me to just take the health here. And try to set myself up to win the next fight. Celestial Conduit is definitely not what we're looking for. And I think that I just want to re-roll this to see if I can get something better. Is that shiny? Oh my goodness. That is amazing. Okay, we've got a shot. There's a chance. Okay, we got to win this fight. We do have a lot of work to get ourselves into a position where we're going to win, but that is exactly what you want to see. This might be enough for us to get into a position where we can win. Shiny sniper with no crit. Alright, interesting. Okay. Doing pretty good on our haste so far. He's dead as long as we shoot. Okay, not bad. Pretty cool build that he's doing. Kind of all over the place, but interesting. Is this shiny enough to take us all the way? We've done a lot of work to get here. Will it pay off? These are the essential questions. So we could take a temporary boost here. We could look at some small items. Some of the things that are coming to my mind is one of the main things we need is Beach Ball to get less cooldown than Rowboat. That's one of the first things that we need to accomplish. And I don't think I'm being dumb here. There's not a way that I can do that just by reorganizing these things. You know, Pufferfish could just as easily be Catfish here. So I think that I'm also interested in, you know, another item on my board. So maybe it's Andy, because we could fit a small item on our board. Can't do Pet Rock. we could put Blowgun back in. Maybe that's the play. This out, this in, like this, and now we've got Blowgun back in. I don't think that's too bad. And this is 4 seconds, and this is 3.6. So again, we're in that ugly position where we're really kind of losing the effectiveness of this rowboat, but hopefully we can solve that. I will sell 1 spare change. A Clamora would be great. This is actually pretty good. Jellyfish is also pretty good. It's only 4, right? So the idea here is, A, this is very nice. Look, 3.6 to 5.6, meaning that when this goes off, this will go off every time. A lot more haste triggers, because both of these will trigger haste on Jellyfish. There's a case to be made for Vanessa's amulet as well, but I think we'll start here. I think that adds a lot of haste triggers to our build. I think that's an improvement. So I don't have enough money to spend anything on aquatic items. I'd love to go there because I would love to upgrade any of these 4 items, but we're just going to take a free friend. All right, Roaming Isles, good experience. If we want to level up, we need 1, 2, 3. We would get 4 from today if we beat the Roaming Isle, and then we would get 1, 2 extra. So we can fight any of these creatures, any of these monsters. Although I don't know if we would call Yurdan a monster, at least on most days. Blood Reef Captain. Oh yeah, that's good. Ammo stash. No, that's Raider. Captain. Vehicle, weapon, tool. Do I have vehicle, weapon, and tool? I just think I have vehicle and weapon. I mean, so that's pretty good. Maybe we go for that. What is... I can't remember. This guy has something about heal, which I think is trash. Roaming Isle. I get 2 of these. Yeah, when you heal, charge a shield item. Yeah, I don't want that. Let's try Blood Reef Captain. You know, this full arsenal here would be really, really good for us. Boom. Pretty good damage. Not enough. Definitely not enough. Wow, we did get it. That's huge. 3.2, 8.1. We're pretty fast all of a sudden. How much money do I have? Not a lot. Not a lot. So I'm happy to go for an epic battle here. Sure. Dude, give me the same thing. Let me get the diamond version of this. How about that? Tool, huh? So it looks like unmessed with, I'm doing around 2,000 damage. So around 4,000 damage. Wow. Holy cow. Look at us. Does that go to 10? Whoa. That's sweet. Ammo skills seems really good. If I can get an upgrade on Gunner here, I think I'm very happy. Another... When you freeze, reload a weapon. That'll be hard to use. Let's try one more time. Yeah, that's great. Oh. Well, why don't we just do this? Oh, that's only if I have one weapon. Glad I didn't click that too quickly because I've got blowgun here. So gunner here gives us that third ammo, which is pretty important for what we're trying to do. Very happy about that. Don't have a lot of money, but I do have pretty high health, so I'll just go ahead and take some free health here. Who knows? You know, it might matter. All right. Lion of Zion. Lion of Zion. We got ourselves a Bible thumper. And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. I mean it as a lot of haste triggers, a lot of burn, a lot of freeze. We'll see how we do. He's got a lot of disruption, and it looks like he's doing quite a bit of damage. He's got a really good freeze. Kind of need one more shot here. Yeah, we got him. Whew, very nice. Shiny Arbalest is doing work. Pretty scary. This blowgun's doing nothing for us, so this is an item that I would love to be something else, like maybe not a Clamora, because we would need the beach ball upgraded before that would work. So maybe if we can get the beach ball upgraded, the Clamora would be a really nice addition here, especially because we are already ready with this improvised bludgeon to basically double the slow of a Clamora once we get it. We'll go to Mittel. We have 3 medium items that we would really love to upgrade. And do I have the money to do so? No. So, that was a mistake. I should not have gone there. I would need 16 to upgrade these, and I don't have 16. Don't need the regen. Don't need to buy any items. I obviously do want blowgun, but it's just better to fight a battle. And Lord Arkan's a good fight. Happy to fight Lord Arkan. I would take, I think, thrusters. I would take Unwavering for sure, and then I'd take Eclipse or this Diamond Gatling. I'd be happy with pretty much all those. Wow, yeah, that full arsenal really is paying off for us. Perfectly happy with that. Not going to put it on my board. Really, I just want the money. Really want that money. So, officially, I no longer want these. It would be valuable to get something to reduce the cooldown of Beach Ball below... Well, no, I don't want to do that because I want this jellyfish between these. Although that won't actually matter as much once this Beach Ball is upgraded and maybe we add a 4th aquatic item. So maybe getting this Beach Ball... Maybe it's worth trying to roll for the loot to get a cooldown reduction on this Beach Ball. It's less money, though, but I feel less concerned about money now that I've got 50 gold in the bank. You could just roll for a gold item and hope that it's something you could field. I don't think I can think of any gold ammo items that I really care to put on my board. I mean, a tool would obviously be very strong. If I could find a tool, that would be good. I think we will... Let's go for the loot item. With that money that we already have sitting around... Oh, it's trash. I feel okay about that. Property Baron's pretty good for getting money. He just tends to have a lot of high-value rewards. Boss Harlow is not good for us. The biggest thing that Boss Harlow has is Assault Focus, which we don't want. Keen Eye's not bad. And that's it. So we really don't care about him. I think we just fight the Awakened District here. It's definitely something we can beat. We're pretty strong against it. And he has pretty good rewards. There's a lot of stuff that he does that we don't really care about, but he's got good rewards. And he can't kill us. We're too fast. Pretty cool to see a... Wow, look at that, you know? Sometimes you just get way more money than you need. Upgrade an item. So upgrading this figurehead might be really good. Or upgrading Beach Ball, right? Or upgrading Rowboat. Because then it goes to 3 seconds. Whew. Lots of interesting thoughts. Lots of good decisions. I mean, there's nothing wrong with gold tier skills. You know, there's a case to be made for figurehead 2, getting these cooldowns even lower. I kind of like upgrading beach ball here. I think that gives us the most flexibility moving forward. Because now I have the ability to get that 4th aquatic item on the board. I would definitely take gunner upgrade. And I have the money for it, so we'll definitely try that. We didn't get it. This is trash. We can take that, though. Alright. Here, there's no shield. Like I would be hoping to get a shield enchantment, which I don't care about. At least not terribly much. But going to Aerodrome means I could potentially find something particularly valuable. And I've got plenty of money sitting around. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Sure, Hattie's great. Aerodrome's a really, really good one. You know, if you do not have something that's really good and you have some money, Aerodrome is really nice. Ooh, a skill. I think that's what that is. Diamond tier skill. What are you giving me? Alright, we'll take it. That doesn't really help me very much, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers, can they? Is there a world in which this is the right move? And maybe you reorganize like this? Because then, my understanding is things trigger left to right. So if all of these trigger at the same time, these haste triggers would happen. Is this better? Hard to say. Really is hard to say. I think... $2.93. 3 seconds or 3.8 still cycles. $3.6 to 5.7 here. The idea being so the reason I'm considering this is A, when this gets used, it uses all the other items, but the first time you fall below half health, it just triggers. And that could be all the difference between us winning or losing with this shiny Arbalest, because basically it might just make us really fast. It's really tough to know if this is right or not. I'm going to try it, though. I think it's better. Because it's a vehicle, you know, it also... Well, it doesn't actually matter because we already have a vehicle. But let me just make sure we have our vehicle and our weapon. Vehicle, weapon. We don't have a tool steal, but that's fine. Let's give it a shot. I should have taken one more second to make sure my order was correct there, but I did check as we were going into the fight. My order's good. Ah, nanobots with shiny. Oh no, with a toxic robot here. So, nice. Alright. Boom. That's pretty strong. Especially if we can get another ammo on this guy. I feel like I've been saying that the entire run. I think that's better. So I feel good about my decision. That was a tough one, though. I wasn't feeling perfect about that. But getting a 4th aquatic item might even be better than that. So especially a Clamora here, but not a silver one. Come on, not a silver one. On day 11? We can't take that. Can we? Can we take that? Fine. I do think it's good. So now, this, like this. Boom. 6.5 seconds. It's not bad. Alright, I've got plenty of money, so I should not be hesitant with spending it. Don't need any of that stuff. None of these are great. JJ could have something we need, so probably best to go to JJ. We'll take the ambergris, and we'll take the cove here, just because those will help us with our economy. I'm never going to use Soul of the District, so we'll sell that. And I'm also never going to use this blowgun, so it's gone as well. None of that's what I'm looking for. A Clamora upgrade would be absolutely incredible. Don't really need money. Don't really need anything from Boss Harlow. Void Colossus, I think, also is just not very helpful. When you burn. I mean, actually, Boss Harlow has the best stuff for us, right? Let me check Baron. Your large items have crit. Yeah, I mean, Boss Harlow can at least give us some crit on our Arbalest here, which is kind of the best we can hope for, I think. So, okay. Clamora's, you know, better than nothing, right? What can you do? Strength or Keen Eye. That's trash. But we can sell it. A freeze skill would help us with get a little bit of crit. Don't care about you. But on average, I think that a diamond tier skill is going to be more helpful for us. We don't do any burning. This would have been much better later. Reel 'em in is really strong. Yep, let's do that. That's a super cool skill. Once we get into half health, we are going to be coming at them fast. And we've got plenty of money for more skills. Love to see that. One more ammo, I think, matters a lot. Let's do it. One more ammo. That's great. There's a case to be made here between Relax and Aerodrome. Don't care about coal. They have nothing that I want. I've got plenty of money sitting around, and I've got some econ engines to go into these next 4 days. I mean, you got to think, the reason I bought this cove and the ambergris is because there's potentially a lot left, a lot more game left, right? You know, I've got plenty of days left. Do I take 1400 shield? That's essentially 25% health increase, assuming that they're doing damage. It could make all the difference. But I think Aerodrome's a little too good to pass up. So we'll do that. Figurehead or Rowboat would be great for Mittel, but I'm looking for something a little spicier. I've got the money, so why not go for something like Monster Ranch? Perfect. Really showing off the power of Aerodrome here. Be right back. Okie dokie, back. So we have an interesting move. So obviously you could take this 3 experience, and if it meant leveling to 15, I would probably do it. But that being said, we go Feather. Now the thing we want to accomplish here is, yeah, we want to get this to be lower cooldown than that. And I don't know if that's actually possible. Yeah, I don't know if we can do that. I also think we want to do this. I want this to be triggered more than this. I want the slow. So, yeah, there's no way that I can make this... the only thing I can do is improve the amount of cooldown reduction that Feather gives to Rowboat. Because these cooldown reductions are a flat amount, you want them to be at the highest cooldown they can be before you apply whatever cooldown reduction you're going to do. Maybe this here? No, I need this there. 4.5. What do I need to get off this? I think I want to do like this, right? How do I get this? I need to get this to 9. And I want this off the board. Okay, hold on. Let me try again. I figured if I just tried random things that it would just work out. So why didn't that work? We'll get everything back into its original position. Okay, just like this. I want this off the board. Goodbye. I want this off the board. And then, because this is a 9 seconds now, I will sell. And because the cooldown of these is all back to normal, because this isn't on here, right? 3.4 versus 4.2. Ow. We can sell this. And now we'll get that maximum possible cooldown reduction from those items. So now we're at to 2.7. We can see that this clearly was affected more by that cooldown reduction because we did it while it was at 9. Alright. Sweet. So I do want Clamora to be triggering more than Jellyfish. Although this is what is one of the reasons that, well, yeah, like this goes so quickly. It triggers more haste triggers. So this basically cuts our haste triggers from Jellyfish by a fourth or so. Ow, what did I do? Is more slow worth it? Is more slow better? I think it is. I think on average it is. This guy's going to be a tough fight. He's on day 10. He hasn't died. So let's see if our build can put up a good fight. One final check of our build. Let's go. We are fast. But are we fast enough? He's got upgrading a property. Interesting. So he's just like supercharging a fiery robe. He's got high shield. He's got a lot of slow. Holy cow. And a lot of burn. But I think we got him. Yep. Nice. Very cool. Look at all that damage. And I think a lot of that did come down to us being able to slow him quite a bit. I think I played Beat Saber too hard earlier. Pulled a muscle. Nice. Okay, we got to 7 wins. That's what we want to see. Let's see if we can get all the way to 10. So the main ways that we're going to continue to scale our build is upgrading Rowboat, Figurehead, but most important here is actually this Clamora. That is probably the most important thing we can do. We don't really care for any weapons. Really, all this would give us is health. Regen doesn't really matter very much either. Chocolate bars is health, but it's just as expensive. I think probably the best thing to do is just take 5 of these. You could say going to Ayla's better because you could get an obsidian version of one of these items. The obsidian enchantment does drop for Ayla, but it's pretty unlikely. So I got the bronze chocolate bars here in case I found Barkun, because then I could sell them for money. But with Shrouded Figure here, can't pass that up. We're going to go for the experience. Perfectly happy with that. And we'll do Awakened District. Easy fight for us. And I'm going to just kind of watch this Clamora to kind of see how often it's triggering. Just trying to get a sense of its power level currently. Pretty good. Pretty good. Sure. Shield items are increased. Gold tier loot, friends, or gold tier item. We got plenty of money, so a loot item's perfect. And I did check to make sure I had 1 space left over for it. We got trash. What can you do? We'll just go ahead and sell that. Just want it out of there. Shield doesn't matter. Temporary boost is fine, but aquatic items could have some stuff we care about, like this figurehead. Wonderful. So now we're at 2.4, 2.5, 5.4. That was a big upgrade. Love to see that. Don't care about any of those. Perfect. A tool is interesting because we could field a tool and get an extra 10% cooldown reduction, but Monster Ranch is just so good. Five different options here means on average you get something really good. And in our case, we get a Vial of Blood, which is going to be, unfortunate. We can't actually level up from this because we're on the day. So that's actually really unfortunate that happened that way. Because if I sell this right now, I will go to max experience, but I will not trigger the level up sequence. So I have to do this fight at level 15, even though I could get to level 16, which is an important level. You know, just to throw it in the face of the Bazaar gods, we will say, you know what, we could have been level 16 here, and if we lose because of that, then so be it. Augmented defenses, tall buildings, cold room. Interesting. So he's playing a lot of the new stuff, which I think is pretty good against us, all things considered. All right, we need one more trigger. Can we get it? I think we can. We got him. Nice. Very nice. This Arbalest is doing very well. The shiny is, although I will say, like a fiery or an obsidian or a poison, all would have done similarly. You know, we had 4, even crit would have, all of that would have been very good for this Arbalest. Tough. I do think the best choice here is upgrading our Clamora. Believe it or not, I think that has such a major impact on our ability to disrupt the opponent that we really need to do that. There's a reason that I rate this very near the top of usually good. That's a change since you might have seen this tier list before. But the reason is because it fits almost in every build, and you don't need much. If you can get 1 extra second of slow on it, it's so good. We don't need a haste item. We could get like a jellyfish, but it doesn't matter. This can't roll in haste anymore. It used to. It used to have haste, like it used to be considered a haste item, but it's not anymore. So we just go to JJ and see if JJ's got something we care about. Come on, JJ. Show us what you got. That's pretty good, but we don't care. I think... Ooh, a tool. Interesting. So getting a Clamora upgrade's very valuable, but getting a little crit here from Gumball Machine's also not bad. But it's so little crit. I think this is actually better just because getting a Clamora upgrade would be so valuable. We didn't get it, but I think it's worth going for. And I want to go to Volca's Enforcer just because I want to test how good my build is against something that's extremely disruptive. You know, it's not always about, you know, maybe what I'm trying to say is that in itself has value. It's like, hey, I want to see what happens against a particularly disruptive opponent. You know, looks like we're doing okay against something like that. Cool. Ammo skills. So now I'm in a position where I don't think ammo is really what I want. I've kind of got all the ammo things I could get. I could get, like, you know, gain crit chance on ammo usage. But, you know, that's going to give me 10, 20, maybe 30 crit. Maybe 50 crit if I get a diamond version. I think a weapon skill is more likely to be useful. Nope, 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 nope. Sweet, that's great. So this is basically 10 more haste triggers, and they're specifically on Shiny Arbalest, which does not have many haste triggers right now. So that is awesome. Really, really strong. Do I take health? No, we took experience. We have to think about the long game. Skill upgrades. Nothing that I care a lot about. So it's actually, because like all I would be getting is like everything else is diamond, right? So none of these that I could upgrade really matter. So we're going to Barkun. Don't really need an upgrade on that. I'm getting to the point where I have a lot of money and I don't need it. So I'm just taking those for the 80 health. Oh. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so the thought here is you take this out. You take this out. You put in shipwreck. I'm going to click it at least. So that would be slow 6 items for 2 seconds at the start of the fight. Oh, but this goes up. We lose our ability. Is it different? No, I can't do it. I need this to meet the threshold of its 5 unique types. I could have thought about that beforehand, but it is immaterial mostly at this point. I have plenty of money. Let me just make sure I've got everything in the right order. I don't. And we'll move forward. I still want to buy it just in case I figure out a way to use it because shipwreck is so powerful. All right. In absentia. What do you got? Show me what you got. Chemical fire. Blizzard is pretty good. Yeah, interesting. What are you up to, you crazy guy? Luckily I had some slows, I guess. Alright, this is about to trigger, but we got him too fast. Man, we are fast. Holy cow. Especially getting haste now on this. Before that, we did not have haste on Shiny Arbalest, and the reason we get crazy fast is because reel them in. And we get that 50% cooldown reduction. This becomes a 3.4 second cooldown, and then hasted, it becomes a 1.7 second cooldown. Is the actual experienced speed of this Shiny Arbalest. And that's why reel them in is it's just so good. This could be a Clamora. That's as simple as it gets. Where were you on day 1 through 7, Cannonball? Where were you? Maybe 1 through 6. I've been looking for you for a long time, buddy. Here, temporary boost is probably going to be the most impactful thing we could pick. Just take that just take that health. It's just very likely to mean something. Hulking experiment. And one thing I want to call out at this point in the game is it becomes less and less. It's like so parting shot here, you know, like what can these things give me that would actually make a difference? And hulking experiment could give me parting shot, which could make a difference, right? But like none of these are going to make me level up more, right? You know, I'm going to level up one more time before we get to the end of day 15. So like this is where I either win here or I lose here, right? So the run's over. So I just need to pick whatever could matter. And hulking experiment could matter. Especially if we could get like an energy potion, which would be very, very strong. Love seeing 3.4 seconds. Sure, give me some regen, buddy. 2 regen. A diamond tier loot item. Yeah, we'll click that. Give me something good. What you got? Hey, that's pretty good. And I think I want this on Clamora. Oh, I goofed right there. I should have taken figurehead off and then done the reduction. So that was a mistake. I got too excited. Perfect. Love to see skills right before the end. These skills don't matter. This skill could matter. But we don't have any burn. We'll take alacrity just in case by some... Hey, you know what? Look at that. Gumballs. Get out of here. We don't care about any of this stuff anymore. Alright, give me some crit gumballs. I want to see all blue. All blue. If you believe, it'll be all blue. Alright, we got 2 crit. Alright, the final fight against Chico Blaster. Good luck. Have fun. And 2% crit. Let's do it. It's going to make all the difference. Soul of the District. Toxic Fixer Upper. He's got a lot of haste. Luckily, our Clamor is coming out strong. We're already doing a good job slowing him. But man, that's a lot. If we did not have this slow, we'd already be dead. Just calling that out. And is it enough? It is not enough. He still got us. Alright, but we put up a really good fight. That's a really tough, really tough person to build, to beat. Because this... why does this have multicast? Because he's got a shiny balcony, which gives this multicast, which gave him like 8,000 shield, and then this went off, like in pretty close proximity. We got every single one of our shots off, did 16,000 damage, but it was not enough to keep up with him. So, you know, we did good, but it was not enough. 2,000 health there, you know, maybe without that 2,000 health. Long strides. Let's watch it one more time. Ah, yeah. I just want to watch this. So no crits, that's good. And it really wouldn't have mattered because, like, we needed to shoot before. And he did get a crit on this. Oh, he crit on this. That's what he crit on. Yeah. Which had a 50% crit. And we just didn't have enough ammo on this thing to actually even go any further than that. Even if he didn't crit, there was nothing we could do. Good game. That was fun. So, yep, that's why you don't give up. I think a lot of people would have struggled this run with the lack of like an ammo solution to Arbalest. Me recognizing that early Arbalest was a really good option for us, and utilizing that was really fun and interesting. I showed you that Arms Dealer does have some functionality in the early game. One of the biggest things that this build was missing to really go and be a pretty much unstoppable build was crit. At no point was I really given like any good crit loot, which would have really made a big difference. Like plus 20% crit on this shiny Arbalest would have been amazing, because it would have potentially reloaded it, maybe triggered this alacrity. All that stuff would have mattered a lot. But I think we did a really good job. We really focused on what mattered the most. We almost got the 10 wins, and we had a lot of fun. Hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, please include a timestamp. And I will respond and take a look at what you are trying to figure out and help you out as much as I can. See ya.